All right, we are joined by the number 3?
Yeah.
Number 3 player in the world. We had a conversation
Sneaky.
a little while ago, and I asked you about this period of your career, and you said, I have to pick my spots. I don't know if I'm going to have the ruthless consistency that I had in 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
You actually said,
right.
I don't think that I can get back to number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
You feeling a little different now?
Well, the fact that number 2 in the world is as far away from number 1 in the world as it is like 1,000 in the world. Number 1 still is pretty heady territory. But listen, I'm still happy with where I'm at. I feel like playing golf for the right reasons. I feel like I'm picking my spots pretty good. I feel like I've got the motivation. I am seeing things in my game that make me feel like my spots are more broad.
Like what?
Like hitting the ball plenty far. I think that obviously unlocks a lot on a lot of golf courses. I feel like there's still a lot of upside. I feel like there's certain parts of my game that still have some scope to get better, like short game, chipping, things like that. There's no barrier to entry there. Do you know what I mean? It's just a little bit of confidence and good technique and good understanding of stuff. And so I kind of know where my head was at. Like I felt inspired by the big moments, but I didn't feel like that the level on tour is so good that those sort of routine weeks in, weeks out, maybe the sort of like also, you jump off planes, you're living in England, there's going to be that little bit of slide to how you feel week in, week out. So I needed to be patient with myself. I think that's kind of where my head was at. And I think that's still kind of good thinking in a way. So you don't let certain weeks drive you crazy. You just kind of let them wash off you a little bit more, but knowing that you got to be ready for the big time, you got to be ready for the big weeks. And that's still very much my goal and my motivation. But yeah, I feel a little bit more hopeful that that's not just meaning that there's only 3 weeks a year. Maybe there's 15 weeks.
So we were just talking a little bit about soccer or football before this started, and you're obviously a fan. I'm a fan. Can you explain to me how a 45-year-old in golf can still like physically compete, whereas a 45-year-old in soccer, you're coaching at that point?
Yeah, listen, we walk for a living. It's kind of a little bit helpful. I feel like there's a lot that goes on with golf, as you play a lot of it yourself. You got to take a lot of care over your joints. You got to take a lot of care over, your prehab stuff, the boring stuff. Making sure that all the muscles are activated, that you're getting good stretching, getting good recovery. And golf is quite a weirdly explosive sport in the sense of there's a lot of forces that need to be absorbed by the body to kind of swing a club at 120 mile an hour and hit it and do all the stuff and do it repeatedly and walk. The underrated part is actually the walking and how much it sort of tightens your body up, especially over 5 days. But golf's very predictable. We know what the motion is. We can train for it. Whereas in football, basketball, NFL,
basically any sport that's not golf,
all these other sports, there's so many things that can happen. You can twist an ankle because somebody just knocks you off balance, or you can, if you're not fully conditioned and you are running in that direction, but you've got to shift that way quickly, and your hip's not good, you'll blow a knee. Like those things don't happen in golf. So I feel like we can kind of train around what we know a bit more, which is maybe why we can keep going a bit longer. So
you've mentioned your pre-round routine, your post-round routine. So let's say you have an 8 o'clock tee time. Give me the tick-tock of what the day looks like from when you wake up, what you're doing at a certain point to after the round.
Yeah, I feel like it used to be like, okay, as long as I was out of bed 2 hours before my tee time, I'd be in good shape. I feel like it's now at least 3 hours. Like I feel like that extra hour's kind of crept in there.
So we're waking at 5.
So we're waking at 5. I mean, waking up, cup of tea, I've got to keep my English roots in there. But then
no coffee?
No, then I quickly transition to coffee. I seem to need more caffeine these days
okay.
too. But tea first, coffee second. And I'm then kind of thinking about I meet up with my trainer these days, doing a little bit of we're doing a bit more soft tissue stuff, just like a quick 20-minute soft tissue around the lumbar spine, the ligaments, all in that area, just kind of getting a little bit of heat through the system, and then going a bit of breakfast, then heading into the fitness trailer for probably a 30-minute warm-up, which is a little bit on the treadmill just to get the body going. Then it's what you call active stretching and then activation stuff, and then you're finishing with a few explosive exercises, whether that be kettlebell hip swings or broad jumps or stuff like that, just to kind of get a bit of pep in your step, and then to the range.
So the range, you'll get to the range how far in advance?
So I've got to fit my putting in there sometimes, and sometimes I do my putting before I go to the fitness trailer, depending on the location of everything. But basically I'm at the range. I don't like that long on the range actually, just 40 minutes before my tee time. Hit balls for 30 minutes and then get going.
Okay, so then you play, and then after the round?
After the round, only practice if I have to, like if something's desperately wrong and I feel like I really need to figure something out. Otherwise, I tend not to practice. Ideally, maybe do a bit of short game, a few putting drills, then hit the recovery.
We're just getting started. What's involved in the recovery?
All right, we're going here, are we? All right, cool. Well, I got my own trailer, my own recovery bus, so to speak. So it's like a retrofitted RV. Kind of stripped out most of the RV. Where the bedroom would be is kind of, we got a hot plunge, cold plunge, infrared sauna, steam shower. Steam shower is my favorite, especially allergy season.
Eucalyptus steam?
Yeah. That's actually my favorite. Love that. So a red light bed, and then we've got a spin bike with fresh oxygen, and I want to get into some PEMF stuff, which is like that pulsed electromagnetic frequency.
You're looking
stuff.
at me like I would know what that is.
Come on. Yeah. So that's going to be something I want to try this year.
So you do all of that after the round?
Not all of it. It's like always a menu of how I feel. Always do the cold plunge generally. That's kind of like the one thing that generally has the best effect, I think. But a lot of people differ on that. Actually, what actually makes me feel the best is like the contrast, like couple minutes in the hot pool, couple minutes in the cold, couple minutes in the hot, couple minutes in the cold. That back and forth makes me feel brand new by the time I walk out.
I'm tired just thinking about that. So it's probably like until you're like done, you leave. Like the golf is probably what, 2 hours after the round, 3 hours after the round?
Yeah. Typically, I feel like my day is always like 6 till 8. Then I go back to my room. I always love to get the pin placements off of. The pin placements come out 8 p.m. Always then put them in my book, go through my strategy for the next day. So I feel like my mind's not switching off golf till like at least 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, it's kind of a long day, but hey, I feel like I'm out here to work is the way I look at it, and have my fun at home.
You're going out. This is like you're going on 30 years of doing this.
Yeah, I know. I can't. Yeah, that freaks me out.
Did you hear from Tiger? You gave him a little shout out in your interview after you said sorry you broke his record. Did you hear from Tiger?
No, he's pissed.
Yeah, he's mad that you broke the record. There was a story that came out that they offered you, or at least talked to you about the Ryder Cup captaincy, but you just said it's not the time.
Well, firstly, it's not my decision. I would say the ball's in Luke's court, right? He's done such an incredible job as a captain that first and foremost I'd imagine he gets the say, yay or nay. Like, it's up to him what he wants to do. I think the team would welcome Luke back if that's something he feels he wants to do. So it's certainly not my decision to be saying yes or no. I think I would definitely be an obvious name in the ring post that decision.
But you're number 3 in the world.
Yeah, so post that decision for sure. I would also say right now that doesn't feel like the right time for me, because gone are the days that the captaincy is just 3 months before the Ryder Cup. You start thinking about some pairings and what you're going to say in your opening ceremony speech. Now it's a job. And the way Luke's approached it, man, he's been such an amazing, diligent leader, top to bottom, and 365 days a year. So he's set the bar pretty high of what it means to be a Ryder Cup captain.
I'm hoping that he says no. Just kind of rides off in the sunset. We don't need another Luke Donald captaincy from my perspective.
From American perspective?
Yeah, just from, I'm an impartial third party. I want to thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks,
I always
man.
appreciate
No,
chatting
good
to
to
you.
chat. Yeah, 100%.
Good
Keep
stuff.
up the good work, bud.
Thanks.